Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette Truan. I am the host for Real Talk with Miss G and the Gang, and I also work for the law office of Vincent Davis. And I have Mr. Darren Guy with us right now. Hi, Darren. How are you?
I'm pretty good, Miss G. How are you? It's a good day, right?
Amen to that. So, let me ask you this, Darren, real quick. You were talking about a link to a video on YouTube about. Why don't you go ahead and finish that?
Yeah, so pretty much a friend of mine had reached out to me, and then knowing that we do the show and everything, see, there's not a lot of publicity going on with this. But in the federal courts on April, I believe it was April 16th of this year, a gentleman with the last name of Daggett took on the federal courts with the DHS case that they terminated his parental rights. And he got, like most of us get in this situation, they lied about his urine screens. They gaslight him. They do all those, the typical DHS stuff, like when he tells the list, but he also went into blaming it on the reason that the child was being separated from his family was Title IV funding. So he hit like all the mainstream veins of what we all talk about that Child Protective Services has been stealing our kids for, and he does it pretty well. And the better part of this video is that the judge is very receptive to the gentleman that speaks, Mr. Daggett, and he definitely put some haste towards the DHS lawyer. I'm not sure what her name is. Oh, Carbonaro, I believe is her name. Carbonaro. And he definitely, he puts the boots to her. Now, whether that means anything, who knows? Because we all know that the judges and everything are in on this stuff too, in a lot of cases. But he seemed to be genuinely pissed. Like his face was getting all scrambled up and his forehead was getting red, because what he wants to know is the answer is this: DHS has been involved with this family since for 7 years. Like pretty much become a part of the system. He was part of the system. The father was, everything like that. So the big thing is the father goes into the court case when they first do the TPR. Well, he doesn't realize that it was a TPR hearing. He's representing himself. No one notified him. So they called for a mistrial because the father flipped out. He goes in thinking they were going to have a regular hearing or whatever. And come to find out they were going to at a TPR. So they got a mistrial for it. And then they went back to trial and so on. But that's the premise of this. And, the judge is saying, well, why did you say up until April of 2021, you said reunification? Why did this change all of a sudden? And then they went on to question the mental health and the substance abuse. And like the judge says, that doesn't mean what gauge are you using to say that this is going to last forever? Because there are substance abuses and there are mental health problems, but you could go take a pill and bang, you're right back out of it. And there you are back into being a parent. So what are they using? What vices is DHS using to proclaim that these people with these type of problems, mental health, substance abuse, anger, all of this stuff, like how do they know it's going to be forever? Because everybody's fixed and everybody has the right to, second chances in life. Everybody makes mistakes, all of this. And it just seems like for the first time that there was a judge that genuinely looked like he was concerned and really was kind of pushing back as the DHS lawyer was sitting there, spouting off her crap that she spouts off about, specific dates and, these things that happen that they put in the narratives that they do themselves. But, he really had to question. And like he said in one of his lines, where there's a big problem here that the department is not talking about all the good things and all of these nice visits with the father, and they're just pasting all of these bad things because it's not. And that's what they do to all of us, like if you're gonna say that we're all bad parents, then you sure as hell have to come up with the good side. Because I'll tell you, with most of the parents that are dealing with this, and look, there are bad parents, absolutely, and there are parents that shouldn't have their kids. I agree, but guess what? The majority of us aren't them. Like this is the thing that everybody needs to get in their head. The people that they're attacking are not them. This is about money. It's about financing. It's about bonuses at the end of the day. Like there's all of these things, and people just need to understand that this is what this is, and stop being so harsh on the people of the system, and more or less be a shoulder for them, because these people are broken and they want to stand up. And let's be honest, Georgette, if people are concerned about what we're trying to do and to stand up for, they're like, oh, well, what about the parents that don't have their kids because they didn't deserve it? Well, they're not the ones like me and you and everybody else that are fighting. They gave up a long time ago. So that isn't, and you know what? That shouldn't even be a matter because it's about the kids anyway. All these kids need to feel loved. And you know what? Hopefully the parents of the kids that deserved to be taken away, hopefully that they're in a lovely home and they're getting loved and cared for. But for the majority of us, this is fucking hell. And it really is. And it's terrible. And it's just good to see finally a judge come out and at least by appearance, give the appearance of law and some sort of empathy towards someone, because it's not very often that in these cases, and I'm sure you know that you get to see that. You don't get to see a judge be sympathetic and, being, as the view of law is, Um,
Aaron is talking about the YouTube link that he's talking about that happened April 14th of this year, of this month, and it's an oral argument. You're gonna see the social worker. She's pretty big. What was the other lady, the one in the blue shirt?
so one of them was the lady in the blue shirt with the glasses or without it?
She
Oh,
was
at the end was
a blue shirt and a black jacket.
yeah. So she was. Well, the guardian ad litem is on. She's long, straight hair. She's at the end. The other lady that's there with the glasses is the wife's attorney or the mother's attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And what their argument is that they made such a spectacle out of him because he was. So he tried to represent himself. So they showgunned him out. Like they didn't do anything right by him. They tried to make a fool of this guy. And he wasn't having it. So they threw him out of the courthouse. They lied. Like he says, like the police were coming after him, his friends, all that stuff. Well, the wife was sitting there, or the mother, she's saying that like this took away from her because they terminated her rights also.
Mm-hmm.
But she's saying that she didn't get a fair shake at a trial either because this all took the attention, whatever was going on in his case, the circus, as they called it. It took away from her chances of getting a fair trial. Like she agreed for the mistrial. She's obviously in support. And she also is upset because the end goal and the whole part of this for mother's side to work was reunification. They were all going for reunification. So none of this makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
For them.
But they do this all the time, Darren. I just had a call from a grandmother. Her case is out of state. It's in New Orleans. And she thought the system, and I wrote verbatim what she said. She said they led her on to believe that CPS will place the grandchild with her. And they did a home assessment and everything. And they waited until after the 6th month that the baby is with foster home. Then the judge comes back and says the baby's already bonded with the foster parents. So they're reluctant now to give the baby back to the grandmother. So do you understand what I'm saying? Their strategy is so demonic. Their strategy is to fail the parent, is to fail the grandparents, to fail the children. You understand what I'm saying? Like there was no reason for her not to have her grandchild with her. Absolutely no reason whatsoever. That's what they do. And I heard a little bit of what that social worker said, the one at the big,
Yeah, Carbonaro. Yeah.
Yeah, Carbonaro said, and she basically sounded like she's the psychiatrist.
Yes.
She sounded like God, right?
Mm-hmm.
She sounded like she's God, and she's also a psychiatrist. And she already knows what the future is going to hold for the children.
That's it.
That doesn't make sense. I hate it when people say, this person is this person is that. Well,
it never ceases to amaze me that
exactly what qualifies your ass to do that.
Yeah, and you don't even hear people, these public pretenders or nothing, are challenging this. I know at a good friend of mine's, their TPR hearing, there was no doctors that came up to speak for this. They just took. Now you got to give that to the on one hand, it's a part of the their defense, but just as well as I do, when it's public pretender, they have no say or what they can do over it. But they should have at least gave a fair shake and said, like, well, who the hell are you to question this guy about this? Who are you? Because we have doctors up here that came and talked about this for counselors that came up on behalf of the mom and the dad, but yet the caseworkers were able to get up there and give their own spin on thing, and they're going to take that as advice.
Mhm.
There's nobody doing a checks and balance on any of this stuff.
Right.
Think about it this way. We don't even have checks and balances the way the legal system works in there in that family court, which is the fake court anyway. But think about it. You got who's the person, who's the defendant, who's the real person that's supposed to be on the other side of that?
Mhm.
Because a court of law is supposed to be a man versus man. You got so you have total corruption. You have a judge that works for the state, you have a prosecutor who works for the state, and you have a DHS worker who works for the state. Well, where's the man? Where's that person that's supposed to be the real life person that's represented there? Who is the state? It's an entity. The entity cannot go against a man. That's commercial business, not there. So you see, like, this is all crossed, and people need to start waking up and looking at this stuff and realizing that this whole thing is illegal that they're doing. It's not very difficult to figure out that it's illegal, it's immoral, it's wrong, it's satanic, it's vindictive, it's harmful. Like, there's so many words that can fly out of your mouth while I could go for 20 minutes just saying all kinds of adjectives and nouns and things that these people are. They're terrible people. What they're doing is wrong. And I can't believe that people aren't just saying enough. Just what needs to be done for it to be enough? Do we have to put, organ harvest videos on for people to say, well, maybe we should do something? Like, what has to be done for people to stand up? Like, I get it, the people that have been in the system, they beat it. They probably want to walk away. They're exhausted. Hopefully they got their money. They want to walk away. But you know what? If they have any little strength left in them to help fight, but man, come back and help. Tell people, educate people. What did you do? How did you do it? What did what was your ways? Something, because people need to see inspiration. I know that I deal with a lot of these groups. I have the websites, we do all this stuff, and there's a lack of parents that have not seen their kids come home. And it's very, very
But
it's very,
Darren,
very dark,
but Darren,
and we
I,
need those parents.
but Darren, on my show with Attorney Davis every night, everyone knows that show. It's at 7 p.m. every night. And Mr. Davis specifically says on the shows is that you need to lawyer up from day one. You can't think that they will help you, because if they get paid by the state, right, their loyalty is not to you. That's why they work hand in hand with the Department of Children and Family Services. They're together. I call them the whorehouse. The whorehouse, where all of them are together and they screw each other. That's what a
Of course,
whorehouse
and they
is.
probably do in all reality.
And they do. They really do. And also, you guys need, if when you ask how do we put a stop to it, well, number one, you put a stop to it by bringing awareness to everyone out there, even people that don't have CPS cases. Number two, if you know somebody that has a CPS case, educate them, have them watch Attorney Davis's shows, have them watch my shows, have them understand that, hey, they're not going to work for you or your children. They're going to give you false hope. Like this grandmother that I spoke with today, and God bless her soul. um it's sad. It's very, very sad that she is fighting to keep her grandchild. But guess what? Her grandchild is a year old. So therefore, they will mislead you because the age of the child is adoptive age. And here is the grandmother saying to herself, I had no idea that they were going to retaliate against me. She had literally no idea that they're going to do that to her. So,
I don't think, I don't think that even most parents do. They don't realize.
no, I had a call, but wait, this is God honest truth. Everything I tell you guys is from living experience. I got a call from a doctor. He had like an Indian accent, okay? His wife reported domestic violence. She called the police. He literally injured his wife. I started talking to him, educating him about CPS and what they do, et cetera, et cetera. You know what he said to me? He said, I know everything about CPS. I'm not worried about them because I deal with them. He deals with them, he says. So he said, I'm not worried about that. They're not going to take my kids from me, but I just want to get an attorney for my criminal one, domestic violence. So his charges were dropped. The mother had bruises all over her. And guess who the kids are with right now? With him. If that's not corruption, I don't know what is. But they always side with the abuser. And I say that on my shows constantly. Even Davis agreed last couple of shows. He said one of I guess the guest told him that, and we were talking, and he said, Miss G always says that. They always favor the abusers. And he said, I'm beginning to believe it. He said he's beginning to believe it. So doesn't that tell you something? Favor abusers.
Well,
Why? Because when
that's
you're dealing with a demonic entity, they want the children abused. That's
right.
why
So
they
this should just tell you that all aspects of this system are broken.
exactly
The
all
only thing that's
aspects
getting
of the
the
system
only
is
thing that's
broken.
happening is broken hearts from these families that are being torn apart. That's it. You know what I want to do? Because you say this, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Lawyer up. And you know what? For a lot of people, it is seemingly impossible, and they do go the road of the state. Obviously, there's things that you can do: get a second job, sell your stuff, be on the phone 24/7, all kinds of things. Learn the law. Like to make sure that you're being followed. So if you do have a public pretender, you can kind of try to pay attention, even though you don't know what they're doing. But at least you can be educated enough to know if it's wrong or right to say up something. But like maybe there needs to be a fund that starts for these people, like a fund that someone puts together, or I or we or something does, so that it's a startup fund, like, so at least just an initial, hey, get yourself a lawyer, like it's applied for something. I don't know. Seems like something that could be decent. I
I
might look
already
into
told
starting
you.
something like this.
I already told you that I'm working on starting a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So that would help mothers a great deal and parents in general. The only time parents, I mean, men, fathers get attacked is when the father and the mother have a good relationship. But
Yeah.
CPS is trying to divide them apart, and the father stands firm, and the mother that they're not going to be divided apart because there was nothing broken in the relationship to begin
Right.
with.
That's why it's called division of family services.
Correct. So that's when they retaliate against the father. But if the father is the abuser in the case, they will get their children. If the mother is the abuser, she will get her children. Believe it or not, that's how it works. They side with the abuser. Social workers, if you watch that video, the link that Darren shared with me, if you look at the social worker's demeanor when she's speaking, it will say a whole lot about them.
You just do you want to just
Yeah, it will say a whole lot about them. They're
she has no
literally,
soul.
they're literally demonic. When I tell you demons, I meant it with all my heart, my body, my mind, and my soul. I meant it. They are demonic because demons need a body to nest in it. Because a sociopathic person has no feelings. They literally have no remorse. They don't care about you. Their main goal is money, funding. That's it. That's all they care about. There is no way these people have God in their hearts. The only God they
Oh
believe
God,
in
not
is
even
satanic
close.
God, the devil himself. That's the only God they worship. There is no way these people literally care about kids. No way. Otherwise, they will pay attention to the children who really need help, that they wait until the children dies. And then people start coming out and saying, hey, we called you guys millions of times and you guys said it's unfounded, but look at the child now. He's dead by the stepdad or the stepmom or the boyfriends. So basically, it's all bullshit. There's a story a couple of days ago when a 5-year-old, I believe it was, and the stepmother, 11-year-old, sorry, 11-year-old stepmother killed him, like literally killed him, hit his body.
See, that's not...
They took the child from the real mom, the bio mom who loved the child to death. They gave the child to the stepmom and the daddy. The daddy was never home. So the stepmom killed the 11-year-old. You guys, it's not all over the news. Killed the 11-year-old. And she's laughing about it in court. She's literally laughing about it in court. That's what I'm talking about. They gave the children to the abuser. They gave the children to the abuser 100% of the time. Because only a demon would hurt children. Only a demonic person will steal children from good parents. Only a demonic person would want to separate a husband and wife because of a false allegation, because they have a good marriage and they want to break that foundation. Only a demon would do something like that. So therefore, if you want to make changes, I recommend you guys in all states, and I've been trying to do this for years, and you guys are not really in tune with me on it. I need you guys to stand up together, and I need you guys to truly, truly, truly become big numbers in each state. Big numbers. When I say big numbers, I'm not talking about 30 people. I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of people marching the street, defunding CPS, demanding your children to be returned.
Yep.
Demanding social workers be held accountable. Believe me, you guys seen the changes with George Floyd when he was murdered unjustly. The whole country rallied. You could barely see the ground from the amount of people that were walking. And guess what? They were heard. But when we don't do the same for children who are being kidnapped and used as traffic,
daily,
literally, we have no voice if we don't all stand up together. We need to all stand up together for justice. George Floyd got it, even though his daughter lost a father, but he got it. And even though his life was gone for it, I don't believe anyone should be treated the way those people with badges are treating human beings. And we are the ones who are literally paying for their salaries. We are the ones who literally pay for them to steal our children. You guys need to get together and combine all people and educate them, because there's a lot of people in the States who don't understand that the system is designed to literally violate us. A lot of people think that DCFS is important. Well, that social worker and many of the other social workers that I saw speaking in that link that I shared with you guys, I wanted to literally slap her. I literally wanted to slap her. And I can't even process how you can smile or you can even be joyful lying about a good parent or good parents. And wow, get as many people as possible to protest, you guys. Get as many people. We need all over the United States. It would be nice if it's all over the world. That'd be great. But we need all over the United States for people to protest against the Department of Children and Family Services and the judges and the corrupt district attorneys who are so used to the money flowing that they're literally neglecting the American children. If you guys go to Russia right now, if you guys are a Russian citizen, the Russian soldiers during this war with Ukraine, they never harmed a child. They actually took the children with their mom and dad and put them in safety. They did not harm them. But the news media doesn't want you to see those videos. They don't want you to watch it because they want you to hate what they disagree with. That's how our government is. They want you to hate the truth and they want you to implement the lies. So we have to be above this. We have to be above all this crap that's happening right now. Other countries, they value the mother. In the Middle East, if you look at Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, they all kiss the mother's hand. They value children. They never ever would steal a child from the mom. You have to be demon possessed to do something like that. Demon possessed to do that. So, we are the only country on this planet, the United States of America. We are the only states that devalue the mom. We are the
Yep.
only states that devalue the father. We are the only states that implement massive funding to steal children from their parents, not abuse children. Like I said, they only focus on the good children, then smear campaign the parents, write down in the report allegation that's not literally false allegations to make the foster
Right.
home think the parents are using drugs, the parents are doing this, the parents are doing that, and et cetera, et cetera. So the foster parents already have this delusional idea in their head that the parents are bad. That's why they gave us the kids.
Yep.
Then they start a smear campaign with your children. Your mama did not show up. Your daddy did not show up because they don't want to see you anymore. Then they start another smear campaign about the children, about the parents. Your child said they don't want to see you. Your child said they don't want to be with you. Your child said it was you that slapped them. Your child said this. Your child said that. When the child never actually said any of that. When the child actually wants to go home with mom. When the child actually begs and cries and pleads to go home with mom. But we don't listen to the children, right?
No.
But what we do, we implement. The child can do. Oh, the child can make a decision. He or she can be. Can what? Can request for a sex change. He or she can be addressed as whatever. You know, all kinds of shit. They're like literally telling them, "Hey, look at this position with gay men and lesbian women, and look, that's how they do it." That's what they implement in schools. There is no family life in America. There is no such thing as family. Family.
No.
Family is what makes this world go round. Family. This is not about you, government, because you, government, will have to answer to higher power that you cannot escape. And when I say higher power, I mean God Himself. When I say God, it's not the God, the demon God that you guys, some of you guys, not you people in my show, but I'm talking about other Americans, social workers, district
Okay.
attorneys, judges, they believe in a different God. Because my God, the God of Jacob and Isaac and Abraham, never said to steal children, to abuse children, and to sell children for profit. That's the God I'm talking about. They're going to have to answer to Him. So, all you judges and all you district attorneys and your social workers, you think you're all God on earth and you think you have power and all this bullshit?
Yeah.
You're going to reap what you sow gazillion times. And believe me when I tell you this, one day, and I ask God this when I pray, I would love to see you burn in hell for the corrupt for the corruption that you guys do and for the pain you inflict.
Pain. Yes. The pain that they cause these families.
Pain
It's
you
ridiculous.
inflict on children and families. You guys are so disgusting to me. You make me want to vomit. And let me say something to you, social workers, district attorneys, and juvenile dependency judges. You might have a title on earth, But up there, when God remembers your asses, your title don't mean shit. Your money won't mean shit. Your houses and your properties and your boats and your whatever, it won't
Yeah,
mean.
you alls are never behind a hearse, that's for sure.
You're not going to get shit. The only thing you have to answer to is your deeds on earth. What have you done right on this planet? Which is absolutely zero.
How do they feel good about
Zero.
themselves doing this?
No. They don't care because they're see, a sociopath would smear campaign someone innocent to get what they want and laugh about it. That's called sociopath and narcissist. They laugh about it. And they only smear campaign you when you don't listen to them about something or you refuse to do something. Then they will smear campaign you so nobody wants to talk to you. No one wants to deal with you. And that's how they do it. They do it with your family, they do it with your anyone that is close to you, they do it. They get you guys isolated so the mother can be completely alone. That's not from God. Because God put that foundation together. God did not make it shaky. But what do? They scare you. Fear comes from Satan, not from God. Fear is from Satan, not from God. God said, "Fear not, for I am with you." He is with us. Don't ever bow down to Satan. Don't ever bow down to a sociopath and a narcissist. Ever. You stand firm. You let the truth be told. Don't give a shit what they do to you because they will reap what they sow. They will all reap what they sow. You don't have to worry about the smear campaign. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about your reputation. You just have to stand firm with God and you have to literally not pay attention to all the chaos that the devil keeps putting in front of you. Because the main thing for the devil, what he wants you to do is to say there is no God. That's all the devil wants you to do. Say there is no God, and then your anger and resentment will take over. And then now you give them ammunition to point at you and say, look, she's crazy. Even though the craziness came from them. Even though that you reacted because of the way they keep pushing your buttons, the way they keep smear campaigning your name, the way they keep destroying your character completely as a mother, as a grandmother, as an aunt, as an uncle, as a father. That's why you reacted. But that's what the enemy wants you to do, is react. Oftentimes, they will tell you to do something. They will tell you, for example, send this email. You send this email, you write down exactly what they told you to write. Then they use it against you. Then oftentimes, they will say, you know what, even though there's a domestic violence, but you can bring the father home. It's okay. I'm going to close the case. They walk away. The investigator walks away. And then the father says, okay, well, I'm going to go back home. Everything is going to be okay. Then they come back with 4 police officers saying, we're removing your children because you failed to protect. You allowed the dad back home. This is all a strategy of Satan. It's all a strategy. In order for Satan to hold you captive to him, is that he has to destroy your character. He will start off so sweet and so nice. Tells you to do something, you implement it, it backfires on you. But he smear campaign against you, so nobody will believe you. And nobody would want to talk to you. That's not from God. That's a satanic move. And then they laugh about it when you're angry. When you address the issue to them, they laugh about it. They laugh about it when you say what you said, you told me to do, and then they're like, no, it's your word against mine. And guess what? The judges will believe them, not you. They will never believe you, the parent. Keep that in mind. Keep that shit in mind. So lawyer up immediately. And you're not looking for a family law attorney, you're looking for a juvenile dependency attorney. Keep that in mind as well. A juvenile dependency attorney. So the retainer would be way less when it's the beginning of a case when your mouth did not open to the social worker. Meaning, when you open your mouth to the social worker, whether you said good morning or have a nice day, it's going to be a whole new 3-page from the social worker saying all kinds of stuff you said. 3-page of unfounded crap. Don't open your mouth. Just call a lawyer, a juvenile dependency attorney in your county. Seek help immediately. Don't think that your CFT meeting with the social worker is going to save your life. It's not. Don't ever assume that your 17-year-old told the social worker she doesn't want to see you or he doesn't want to see you. Don't ever assume that your 6-year-old and your 5-year-old and 10-year-old and 11-year-old, they don't want to see you, because that's not true. They're lying to you. These workers lie for a living. Lie for a living. The juvenile dependency attorneys lie for a living. They manipulate you and they destroy you. That's their job. They're not there to help you. They're not there to protect your rights. They're there to force you to say you're guilty to something you didn't do. So they will entice you. Remember, the devil is the father of lies. They will entice you. Oh, if you do that, you're going to get your kids back today. And then oftentimes we're so desperate, we do that because we're tired. We do it. And guess what? You don't get your kids back after you sign a piece of paper saying you're guilty to something you never did. You never did. So please learn and share the videos, share it with people that don't have CPS cases. Start implementing in your states and counties for people to start protesting and rallying. And we should all do it at the same time. This shit should be blown up all over the media, all over the news. That's the only time I feel we're going to be heard. What do you think, Darren? I mean, I've seen it happening with other cases. I can't hear you.
Like you had said, when that gentleman, what the hell was his name? George
George
Lopez,
Floyd.
right? Was that his name?
No.
Yeah.
George
Well,
Floyd.
George Floyd, yeah, George
Yeah.
Lopez, Jesus. George Floyd, when he went, everybody came out to arms. There are hundreds of children a day being taken into this service. There's hundreds of children a day
Thousands.
being
What are you
trafficked.
talking, hundreds?
There's
Thousands.
hundreds of children a day just missing, and no one is doing anything. Like no Hollywood, because we know that they're demonic. No politician, because they're all too scared. And they're not scared of with the vote. I mean, I would think a politician that came out and said, "I'm going to end this DHS." Think about how many of us there are. There are so many of us, millions and millions of parents out there that are aching every day that don't have their kids because of some stupid crap that was put into their, the system and, whatever. Because you're right, they don't ever go after the people. You see the people with the kids that have passed away in their care, they've had 8, 10, 12, 15 complaints against them. Most of the kids that we see missing that we talk to people about, they had one complaint. And that one complaint, the father was slurring his words in a store. Bang, child's gone. Imminent danger,
Yep.
imminent danger. People don't realize that they use that color of law stuff on people too. Like, oh, this is wrong. It's illegal. And it's all just crap. And people are so quick to sign that paper just so they get out of their lives, so you think, and to keep your child at home. Hey, if you sign this, you can stay home. But on the back of this piece of paper, there's 72 little things that you have to make sure that you do. And if you do any one of these things, if you run an error, then your child is going to be taken from you. Like that's what you don't realize. And you don't think that it's, oh, they'll never know. No, they know everything. They hide, they stalk people. Their job is specifically to steal your child. It is not to reunify you. It is not to make you a better parent. It's not to make you no longer an addict. It is none of these things. Their job is to steal your child without you saying a freaking word. And that's what they've been doing for all these years.
I want to mention something here. First of all, CY, um, you should call me. Actually, call the 888 number that you see underneath Darren right there, and ask for Miss G, and let them know that you want to help me to, with protest against CPS. And they will give me the message, but please give them your cell number because I do text people all the time. If I don't get a hold of them,
She
I do
does do
text them.
that. She will text you.
Yeah, I will text you definitely. So just I'll text you.
She will
And,
text.
and also as for
Get a special ring because if you don't answer, you're in big trouble.
I know Darian, she said that I'm scared they are going to try to arrest her again
For
for
false
false allegation.
allegations. Well, that's what they
And
do.
she said if I rebel or try to go, I guess she meant say go against them, who is really going to stand up behind you? Um, Look, Darian, let me explain something. When the when the enemy wants you weak, they want to silence you so you don't speak, and they also want to kill your spirit so you don't stand up for what's right. But when you stand up like a soldier and stay firm with the truth, not lies, with the truth, God will never forsake you. But what do? We fear. We fear. And when you fear, God is not activated by fear because God is not fear. God does not send or hold himself in fear. He said, fear not, for I am with you. Fear not. Fear not. That's why Satan puts chaos and obstacles in front of us to distract us. Who cares about your name? God cares. God also said he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. There is no God before him, there is none after him. You either believe, and when you pray, you say, God, thank you for the victory. Believe and stand up like a soldier. When I say soldier, you're standing up in the truth. God honors the truth. Lies are from Satan, not from God. Stand up, put on the whole armor of God, and start marching. Fear not. Fear not. And I keep telling you guys this. I'm dealing with a lot of shit in my life. Yeah, my name has also been smear, smear campaigned everywhere. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I laugh. I used to get angry. Now I just laugh about it. I literally laugh about it. I laugh about the person that's doing it. It's so pathetic and so childish. So pathetic. Because you either stupid or you just love chaos, and you a person that loves to do that is literally an idiot. Truly an idiot. So therefore, don't care about what they say about you. You keep on with the armor of God and stand up like a soldier. And I'm not saying go and kill anyone because God does not honor that. Because their lives doesn't belong to us. Even our life doesn't belong to us. It doesn't belong to me. I can't take my own life because it doesn't belong to me. So again, armor up in the truth, God's word, that is, start praying. Start praying Psalms 91, Psalms 23, Psalms 24. Start praying. and humble yourself, and don't worry about the evil people around you. They will perish. They will perish. It's God's promise to us. They will perish. They will perish. Believe me when I tell you this. Hell gate is wide open. Hell's gate is so wide open. But heaven is not. Paradise is not. There's so many people that will be thrown in hell, and there is no coming back. But God is so merciful. There's a lot of people who die. They come back out of, like, literally, this guy was pronounced dead. They put him in the refrigerator, whatever you call that, the freezer or whatever, until, the family decides, funeral time, all that. He literally came out. He kept knocking. Hey, hey, I'm here. That freaked the shit out of me. The nurses they were all scared. And then he describes what happened to him. He said that he went to hell. He said he saw a light, a tunnel, a light, full of light. He went through it so fast. And then he saw hell. He felt it. He smelled it. He heard people. People. Sorry, my dog was barking. He heard people screaming for help. And then he said, Jesus, help me. And he felt a hand pull him back. And he told him, it's not time for you yet. But change your life. Change who you were living. Change your way of living on earth. He became a minister. Another guy, he's all over. He's actually a preacher now. Another guy, he, since age 8 or 7, he worshiped Satan. His parents, his father, his mother, they worshiped Satan. So what were they? That was in New York. And then they would like drink blood and taught him how to be a high priest, blah, 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 blah. They started teaching him witchcraft, all that stuff, since age 6 or 7. Then he became a father himself. He's a high priest praying against everyone. Like if his neighbor is bothering him, he would put witchcraft on them, spills on them. And they have different spills, and he speaks about it. He said, illness, cancer, spills, and loss of job spills. They do all kinds of spills. He said he didn't wake up from this nightmare. And he would pray to he called the devil his father. He called the devil his father. Then he woke up from this nightmare when somebody paid him a lot of money to pray against this Christian family. Christian family was a husband, wife, and kids. And this Christian family would pray together every day, holding hands, and they worshiped the Lord together. He tried so many spells on them, nothing worked. Nothing worked. I mean, it was a death spell after the next, and then somebody came to him, angel came to him, told him, don't touch those people. Don't touch them. They're anointed. And you know why they're anointed? Because they all pray together. They all worship together. They don't denounce the name of God when shit is happening in their lives. They are steadfast with God. They do not waver. They're not hot and cold with God. They're not. They're not lukewarm. Because that's what God hates, is when you're lukewarm. Start thinking of God more. then look at your chaotic situation and stop attacking the people that are trying to help you. One of you guys called me the other night, late at night, and I actually answered her call. And she was so angry because I told her, your foolish behavior is what would cripple you, and your behavior is stupid. She took offense to that. And you know why? Because she has an attorney, but yet she wants to communicate with the social workers. Told her, do not communicate with the social workers. But her excuse is, my attorney's not calling me. My attorney's not doing this, which is not true. But people somehow either they lie intentionally, or you guys are so tired that you don't remember. But see, I stand up for you guys. You can complain about me all you want, but I stand up for you guys. So I am working my ass off, available for you guys 24/7 for you. So if you can't hear the truth, do not speak to me, because I will tell you the truth. If you are offended easily by the truth, I suggest you say, Miss G, I don't want to hear the truth from you. And you can go talk to someone else. I'll be happy to give you anyone else that will lie to you, no problem. But I'm not going to do that. So if you're doing stupid shit in your case, I will tell you you're doing stupid shit in your case. My goal is to get your kids back. So yes, I get angry. Yes, I do. Like, what the hell? Why are you doing that? Why are you going to go threaten a social worker in writing?
Yeah.
Why? Because you have the law office of Vincent Davis? Really? And then lie about it and say Mr. Davis told you to do that. That's a lie. Or lie about it and say Georgette told you to do that. That's another lie. So don't even go there. Don't think that your smear campaign is going to affect me whatsoever. I'm so used to it. I don't give a shit, honey. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't faze me anymore. I used to get hurt before, like last year, because I loved you guys so much. I loved so hard. And I treated you like my own sister, like literally my family. But if you guys are going to do that, then I don't care anymore. I really don't. So do all you want to do. God bless. Because one day you're going to be laughing at yourself, not at Miss G, because I will remain victorious. I will be never, ever be the tail of anyone, because I'm always going to be the head. That's how my God made me. I will always have the armor of God all over me. I will always be anointed. So I don't care what you think about me. But if you want to go ahead and screw your own case, blame yourself. Don't blame anyone else. Blame yourself. Because that is stupid behavior. And you are only one who's going to get hurt. And I love the fact how this person was like, "Oh, praise the Lord! God is gonna be with me. God is with me. God is with me. God. I love that. That's great. But God didn't tell you to be stupid and go talk to the social workers when your attorney and his team is telling you not to speak to the social workers. God didn't tell you to do that. So how are you going to say God is with you? That's great. I'm loving the fact that you are steadfast with God. But don't try to hurt the people that have your back, because God didn't tell you to do that shit either. So you can send me all kind of prayers, but your action completely different than what you're writing. So pretty much you lost me. I blocked you, completely blocked you, because I don't have time for foolishness. I have time for people that really need help. But when I have no time for you, I don't just forgive you and come back to you. I don't do that. I forgive you, but I stay away from you. I'm the kind of person that forgives, but I do not come back. And I will not have your back. When the time comes, your ass is going to be by whoever you need to be with or you choose to be with. I'm not going to be around. So I tell you this for a reason. Do not underestimate our law firm. When we tell you not to speak to the social workers, we meant it. You don't even say good morning to the social worker. You do not take the calls of the social workers. You literally have to stay away from the social workers. We do not communicate with them either. We communicate with their attorney. Their attorney is who our attorneys communicate with. But when you keep saying the social worker keeps calling you and your attorney's not doing anything, and you start talking to the social worker because of what? You heard from a child advocate on social media that it's okay for you to talk to the social workers, and this is what you need to do. Those advocates are not real attorneys. I don't care who they are. They're not real attorneys. So wise up. Wise up. Darren, gonna have to come in the show in a few seconds. So go ahead and
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
share last few words about what I said, and we'll go from there. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. So no, what Georgette says is right. I mean, the number one most important thing in this whole game is to shut your mouth. And people just think that they're because they're who they are, they think that they can overtalk and they think that they're going to be okay because they're great parents.
Yeah.
You got to understand the people that you're up against. They don't give a shit about you, your family, your grandparents, your welfare. They could care less. All they care about is the dollar signs that they get out of that little child that they're taking from you.
Yeah.
So you can think that you know what you're talking about, but you're really stupid if you think that way. You
Stupid.
got to listen to the people with
Stupidity.
the experience, listen to the people that are trying to guide you and help you. Because the more you open your mouth, the worse you're going to make it for you. Because you can just say you like strawberries, and somehow they're going to turn it around that on you, and the next thing you know, you're like, how the hell did this turn into I was drinking strawberry schnapps one night and this that? Like, they just change your words, do all these stupid things towards you. So just shut your freaking mouth, listen to her. That's really what I got for that. And everybody should check out that video too and pass that around. Everybody should watch that video.
I think you guys should watch the link, please. I'm begging you, watch that link. It's very, very important. Darian, I think you and I, Darian, sorry, Darian, I think you and I spoke just before the show. Just text me back half an hour from now, and I will call you and we can discuss what you just wrote about talking about a parent review, and I will be able to explain it to you in depth. Because now I have to end the show because I do have an appointment in 5 minutes. Okay. We have another show tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It's also Real Talk with Miss G and the gang. And Mr. Darren Guy, is going to join me as well. I hope the rest of us can join me as well too. But I don't know what Auntie Barb and Dr. Fowler has to do. But we will see tomorrow. All right. God bless you. Thank you, Darren. Again, I love you. Send my love to Mary as always.
Will do.
And we shall talk later. Bye.
Alrighty.